What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ Buck with you. Buck, how are you doing, man?
Hey, come on, man. Coming up on the weekend. It's been a great football week. We got another football weekend that should have some very interesting and compelling games. And DJ, we've reached a point of the season, must-win week. There's some must-win games that we got to.
Yeah, those 0-3 stats are not great, man. When you start 0-3, not a lot of love there. So 0-2 starts. Since 1990, 35 of the 288 teams to start 0-2 made the playoffs. That's 12.2% after an 0-2 start.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, you got a shot there. Last year, the Broncos, Ravens, and Rams all pulled it off. Only 4 of 165 teams to start 0-3, however, have made the playoffs. That is 2.4%. And no team has ever won the Super Bowl after starting 0-3. Buck, have you been on any teams you remember where it started out kind of rough and you're just sitting here going like, oh gosh, we might have just lost the whole season in the first 2-3 games?
Nah, not that rough. The most dire situation that I've been in Jacksonville, we were 3-6, but we ended up 9-7. So I tend to look at the glass half full. Hey, we always can do it. No matter what, we can turn this thing around. So that's what some of the fans need to do. We can turn this thing around.
Yeah,
turn it around upside down.
Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the teams here, the 0-2 teams, and I'm going to tell you who we should be most excited or confident about that the rebound is going to take place here. So I'm going to list them off here. We've got Houston, we've got Kansas City, we've got Tennessee, we've got the New York Jets, we have the Cleveland Browns, and the Miami Dolphins. That's in the AFC. So let's start first of all there, then we'll go to the NFC. So Houston, Kansas City, Tennessee, the Jets, Cleveland, Miami. Let's go with the percentage. So I want you to give me your confidence percentage that this thing can get turned around, and we'll start with the Houston Texans.
75%. I believe they.
Oh, you're confident then, huh?
Yeah, I think the division plays to their strength. Even though Indianapolis ran out to 2-0, there's a sense that they can come back to the pack. Jacksonville at 1-1, Tennessee. You're the Texans. You won the division the last 2 years. You kind of know what it is. You have all those games ahead of you, so you can make up ground. This defense still has the pieces to be lights out. And their physicality, their toughness, and the D'Amico Ryans factor gives them a chance on offense. Whether or not they become the explosive outfit, and D'Amico Ryans may just have to go in and be like, hey, just don't lose the game. We can be good enough on defense to win it. That's why I'm confident. The division and their defense gives them a chance to get back on track.
Yeah, I mean, look, the only thing about the division is I think that Indy's better than we thought they were going to be. So that doesn't look so great. I would love to give you this answer after this week when they play your Jacksonville Jaguars to see what that looks like. But in their defense, they've played 2 good teams, 2 playoff teams, the Rams and the Bucks. They've been in both these games all the way down to the end. So that should give you confidence. I'll double up. I'll go 75 with you, just kind of hearing the argument, hearing the case. And I love the defense so much. That being said, the 25% doubt is based 100% on the offensive line for me. I'm not worried about C.J. Stroud as much as I'm worried about that offensive line.
I mean, it's a scary deal. They haven't been good up front. They've been inconsistent. And the scheme hasn't quite meshed with the quarterback. Those things need to come play. But until that happens, I'm telling you, man, if you just don't give it away, we can hang games. Because think about it. They didn't play great against Tampa. They're right there. I mean, the 2 games they lost, they've been there because the defense is solid.
All right. This is the one I think people are probably most surprised by, the Kansas City Chiefs sitting here at 0-2.
Let's go 60%. Okay. And the 60% is a bit of a stretch. Just due to the championship pedigree. It's the pedigree and Pat Mahomes, the 2 Ps. They've been in this situation. They understand how to get to the winner's circle. If they're close, they'll find a way to get in. If they're close, they have Pat Mahomes who can put on the cape and figure out a way to wheel them in. Outside of that, there are a lot of questions. Offensively, they don't have enough playmakers. They haven't been able to create it. The backfield is pedestrian. We talk about all the alliteration, a lot of P's, and some of those P's don't go in their way. They need to find a way to run the ball so they can find a way to create those big plays. They haven't been able to do it. And then Spags is a great defensive coordinator, but they are more of a selective stop team, more so than a shut them down team.
Yeah.
And when your offense isn't explosive, it's hard to rely on a defense that's like that.
Yeah, I don't want to panic here. I mean, I don't think they've played well. They're missing those receivers. That's a big part of the problem here. My concern is almost more with who they're playing versus who they are. I mean, the schedule's tough. They've got Detroit coming up. They've got Baltimore coming up. Inside the division, you still got to get Denver twice, Vegas twice. Or Vegas is going to be competitive. You've got a road trip to Buffalo. All of a sudden, Indy looks like that's not a cakewalk. The Cowboys are going to score points. You've got Houston. I mean, that's not an easy run, man. And you're starting out a little cold here. This next 2 weeks, if they could somehow, win at the Giants this week, which is very doable, then you come back, you get the Ravens at home. That to me is the barometer there. If they could win their next 2 games. I know the Ravens are outstanding, but that is in Kansas City. If they can somehow win that game, now you're 2-2. I think they're fine. But I think there's a very real chance they're looking at being a 1-3 team, and that creates some doubt. So I'm gonna echo your 60 and say that's a fair number. I think you got to go better than 50% with the quarterback and the head coach. But Buck, they don't have a running back that excites me. They can't get the ball vertically down the field at all, and I know that's part of the receiver issue. And defensively, I don't know that they're as dominant as I think they look tired. They played a lot of football over the last 5 years.
And DJ, this is one from the good book where we're talking about faith. Yeah. We're talking about things unseen. We're hoping for things that we haven't seen from them. This is what it is. We haven't seen it, but we're faithful that the quarterback, the pedigree gives them a chance, but there's not a lot of tangible evidence that would tell us through 2 weeks that this team is going to get a turn.
If you divorced yourself from the helmet and the uniform and just saw, I'm just evaluating that football team, not great.
There's not a lot, but we're going to stick with it.
All right. We can go faster through the rest of these here. Tennessee, give me a number on them. That's who they are. That's a 10% chance of them turning it around.
Yeah, that's what it is. It was from 0 to 10 for me. They're not good enough to be a postseason team. They got a young quarterback. They're just not ready. It's not.
Play the young guys, man. Jameer DK, let's get him rolling. Let's get these young wideouts in the mix. Let's just go all young.
The problem that you have, the coach and the personnel people on the same timeline when it comes to getting it. That's what makes it hard. Because if we're on the same timeline, DJ, then we can go all in on playing the young guys and let's progress over the season to get ready for 2026. I think it's a long range plan if that's what we're going to do. We'll see if they're on the same page.
Yeah, I think that's hey, we need to play the young guys. Let's get these guys up and running. We're like, well, hey, do I have assurances I'm going to be back? No, but I'm just telling you, it's in your interest to play the young guys. like I can't make you any promises, but let's evaluate the young part of our roster. The Jets, I'll go maybe a little bit higher there because I think the defense, can still be better than they've been, and the run game, and we'll see the Justin Fields back healthy. I'm going to put them at a 20, Buck.
Yeah, 20-25%. Look, man, they are talented. I mean, I know they've kind of been the team where we talked about the talent for so long, but they're talented enough to do it. Can Aaron Glenn find a way to put it together? They need the running game to be a big part of it because the running game will complement them in terms of how they want to play on defense. But until we get the running game up and going, that's what it is. So 25%, that's reasonable.
Cleveland, I'll go 10. I think 10's as low as I'm not too. You're going to go 0. Yeah, that's fair.
The quarterback, man, the quarterback situation.
When are you turning that over to Dylan Gabriel?
Man, now, to me, they should have played the young guys from the jump. Like, who are we fooling? Put the young guys in. Let's see what it is. Like, man, those guys know they don't have a reasonable chance. And I like Joe Flacco, but DJ, everybody that's 40 years old is not meant to play the position. And if he can't protect himself, he can't move. Man, in today's game, you're limited. He's a sitting duck in the pocket. They need to flip it over. Maybe they can catch a spark and find a way to do it. But it's not going to happen until they put one of those young guys in.
So if it was my office in there, Buck, this is it would be like an elementary school teacher. If I was sitting there in the GM job, I would have somebody render a huge bus, and I would have them put all these little seats on the bus, and I go, I go, guys, like philosophically this year, this is the 2026 Cleveland Browns bus. We're going to find out who we have little images there, everybody, who gets to be on that bus next year. That's our goal, is to figure out who's on that bus for next year and start putting some little places. Yeah, exactly. Put some little places. Hey, these old guy, not going to be on next year's bus. So why are we playing him? Let's play the guys who have a chance to be on this group going forward for the next time that we're a good football team. So I think that's pretty easy to understand. Miami, not confident there, Buck. I'll go 8%. I don't know. I don't love what's going on there. Man, I don't think their offensive line's very good. It's just the whole thing's stale.
It is so crazy. A team that was celebrated for their offensive ingenuity, their creativity, the explosiveness, all that this team doesn't have a chance, that they're gone. I think they've not only lost confidence in themselves, you're at the point where you're hoping the head coach can answer some of the problems that are coming up. But look, man, I just don't know where they go from here, DJ. Like, they can talk about a new culture and those things, but it just doesn't look right. And when it doesn't look right, it tends not to turn around. So We'll see. They're talented. I just know if they can get the turnaround done.
All right, let's get over to the NFC, the OFR teams on the NFC side. We go through that list here. We've got Carolina, New Orleans, Chicago, and the Giants. I think there's more optimism and hope with some of these AFC teams versus some of these NFC teams, Buck.
Yeah, I think that's it. The reality kind of hits us really hard in the NFC in terms of how far we have to go. Let's start with the Carolina Panthers. I saw them up close and personal. DJ, they've done a really good job of trying to put together the pieces in the offseason. They're just far behind the people in the division, the top teams in the division. When I think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and even the Atlanta Falcons, when I look at them, there's just a noticeable difference. Talent and all of that, they can close the gap, but I don't think they can get in the mix. I'll give them a 15 to 20% chance.
Yeah, I'm going to go to 8% on that one. I just don't think they have enough firepower, man. I don't think they have enough firepower, but in some ways this year will be a success if Bryce Young leans one way or the other. Like if he cements
we got to know
that he's
the guy figure it out,
or he's not, and then you can move on. But I think that's going to be how this season is determined to be a success or not. The New Orleans Saints, I don't think either one of us had high expectations there. To be honest with you, I think they've actually been more competitive than I thought they would be.
I would say that too. I would say the Spencer Rattler situation has been a bit of a surprise to me, the way that they've been able to compete. They got a bunch of prideful veterans that are helping them kind of stay afloat. Look, I don't think they're a serious contender, but I think they're competitive. I think Kellen Moore can look at his team. If they get to 6, 7 wins, I would think that would be a success for him as his first year coach.
Well, I mean, they're going to be 0-4. They're at Seattle next, and then they're at Buffalo. So they're going to start out 0-4. And then you get the Giants, New England, Chicago. Like they've got a chance to try and, get some wins in there. Yeah, get some wins in there. But I'm not, I mean, I'll go with that 10%, but they're not going to be a playoff team. Chicago, I think, to me, I thought it was better offensively, at least with Caleb's second week versus the first week. He went back through all that stuff. He played on schedule within the structure. I thought the first half, even early into the second half, you saw him make some nice throws. I thought he got hit a little bit after that. I thought there were some bodies around his feet, and then you started seeing the ball spray around a little bit. So I don't think your tackles are very good. For all the talk about them fixing the interior, their tackles are not good. So there's still issues there, but I do believe in Ben Johnson, and I do believe Caleb's going to get better as we go through. And they have enough talent on defense to be better than what they showed against Detroit. So I might put them, of the NFC, they're the top contender of these 0-2 teams for me. I'll put them at like 30% that they could get this thing righted.
I think so. And I think what has happened, unfortunately for the Bears, they had ridiculous expectations coming into the season. Some of that is what Ben Johnson did in Detroit, and believing that he could take the magic wand, sprinkle the pixie dust over the Bears, and they were going to be like the version of the Detroit Lions. And that's just not true. But I believe in the second half of the season, when their confidence comes together, when they begin to believe and trust in all the systems, this can be a team that plays much better down the stretch. 30% is a reasonable thing. They can be a very competitive team. They're talented enough to be competitive.
Yeah. Well, this next team is, I feel like, has figured out one of our themes and one of our mottos here on the show, which is it as a team, it's okay to be bad. It's okay to be boring. You can't be bad and boring. And the Giants actually been kind of fun. It's kind of fun to watch them against the Dallas Cowboys. So they've eliminated the boring part of it. That's good.
I mean, that's a big part of the equation. At least entertain. If I go there for 3.5 hours, I want to be entertained, see some scoring, see the ball fly around the yard, look at my league neighbors, have some things, have some individual accomplishments that we can go make my fantasy team look good. All of those things work. But that division, those teams, forget about it.
Yeah. We go 5% on that one.
Yeah, I go 5.
I'll bump them to 10. Yeah. I'll bump them to 10. Look, I think they've got some good front players on the defensive line. And then I am excited. I know Russ threw for darn near 500 yards last week, but I am excited for Jackson Dart. And look, let's be exciting. Let's be an exciting team. And I am excited to see at least the second half of the season. We're going to see, Malik Neighbors out there with Jackson Dart. And that's going to be kind of fun to watch. They got to get the left tackle back, man. They miss him. Andrew Thomas, get him back and healthy and rocking and rolling. So we'll see what happens with the New York Giants. Let's rip through these 2-0 teams. And I'll just ask you for one of each. So I'll give you the 2-0 team, the one you're most confident in, and then the one that you're questioning here. So if we go to the AFC, you got the Colts, the Chargers, the Bills, the Bengals. Hard to believe. Those are the only 4 undefeated teams. And obviously the Bengals with the Joe Burrow situation, the Colts on the Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones ride that they're having a lot of fun on. And then you've got, I think the Bills and the Chargers wouldn't be as much of a surprise as maybe those other two, considering the circumstances with Burrow.
No, they wouldn't. I'm going to go with your team. I'm going to go with the Chargers in terms of what I believe in and the ones that, look, they're contenders. When I look at them, DJ, it is the slow death that Jim Harbaugh has always orchestrated for every team that he's ever coached. USD, Stanford, Niners, Michigan, Chargers. It is this death match where they almost put you in the sleeper hole, right? And you're flopping the arm up and you're waiting for the other team to go to sleep. And that 20-9 win over the Raiders, look, man, that score looks one way, but it's almost like they had Pete Carroll just choked up and you're just waiting like, Pete, how long? How long before we put you out? That's what the Chargers do. And the fact that they've kind of found some explosiveness with Quentin Johnson, you have Lat McConkey, Keenan Allen, their explosiveness in the passing attack, and we know they're going to finally get the running game right. They're there. But I'm going to tell you, I'm a believer because of the defense. The defense doesn't let the ball fly over their head. They match routes well. They play zone defense. They can do it rushing 4, dropping 7. It's just a well-balanced team. And that's why I believe they're going.
Yeah, and they know who they are. And the longer you have the leadership in place, when you have clear direction, know who you are and what you are, the better they're going to get. Like, a great example. So Khalil Mack gets hurt. Who do they bring in? They brought in Cleveland Farrell. So why him? Because if you look at the Baltimore teams that Joe Ortiz was around, if you look at the teams that Jim Harbaugh's always coached, their edge guys are physical edge setters. You look at the Chargers now. You got Khalil Mack on. Bud Dupree is a bully on one side. Tuli Tuipulotu is a bully on the other side. And now you bring in Cleveland Farrell. So they're not looking for little fastballs to throw off the edge. They're looking for power edge setting guys who are going to collapse the pocket a little bit as a rusher, but you're going to set a firm edge in the run game because now we can play with those safeties in the parking lot because we don't have soft edges. You're not going to get to us that way. So they know exactly what they're doing, who they are, and what they're about. And I played FIFA, many years ago, but I played with my boys when they were young, and I started to get into it. And I remember seeing you do the different defensive stuff, and it was like Park the Bus, I think was the name of it, which was they just you pull your whole defense pulls back around, so you just protecting the goal.
We play possession.
Yeah,
we play possession. We're gonna hold on to it. We're gonna hold on to it. It's gonna frustrate you. These games are going to be 20-9. They're going to be like, man, but I just feel like we're there. But it just is the slow death grip. That's why I say it's the sleeper hole. We got you. We lock you up.
Yep.
It's just what it is. I mean,
no.
Yeah.
So I'm look, I don't think that, I don't think the Bills are going anywhere. Coming off of a game on. We just saw them against the Dolphins here, so they're an undefeated team. So you get the Bills, the Chargers. I'm a little bit, how about this? This is the question between the Colts and the Bengals, considering you've got Browning and Daniel Jones. I know that all the other star power they've got on Cincinnati, but I think I'd have to lean towards Indianapolis, being more confident there.
Way more confident in Indianapolis. And the reason why I'm more confident is this is finally Chris Ballard being able to put it together. We have talked about last 2 years, we talked about their drafting process and how they've gone and got all the freaks, all the explosive athletes, may not be refined as players, but they're going to develop them. Well, now on offense, you have someone that you can trust to get the ball to those guys. And DJ, as much as we talk about the NFL and the schemes, X's and O's versus Jimmy and Joe's. If I have more explosive athletes, I get the ball to them a bunch of times. At some point, my explosive players are going to make plays, i.e. Jonathan Taylor, Downs, Tyler Warren, all those guys. They do that. And then defensively, Lou Anarumo, being able to take all these dynamic, explosive guys and put them together in a defense that is, man, it's like a chameleon. There's so many different things that you see. To me, they're built the right way, which is why, as much as I would love to discount them due to my affiliation with the Jags, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous that they're back.
Yeah, no, I think you're right to be a little nervous there. Let's get over to the NFC. We look at the teams here. I want you to give me one team that you are all in on, another team maybe you have some concerns about. So the 2-0 teams: Packers, Niners, Eagles, Bucks, Cardinals, Rams. Those are your undefeated teams in the NFC. Who are you most confident in those undefeated teams?
Go Pack, go. Yeah. I'm confident. I've been in the Packers all the way. Like, I'm even digging out my old T-shirts from my time there. They're built to last, man. And it's funny, Micah Parsons going there, the impact his arrival has had on their defense has been really eye-opening. The fact that he has been able to put other guys in favorable matchups, Rashawn Gary, you see Lucas Van Ness, you see Edgerrin Cooper, what their presence up front has done for the back end and Jeff Hafley's defense. All of that, the confidence that they have when it comes to closing out games, because this defense is relentless, plays at a high effort, they can get after it. And then offensively, I've said this team can operate with two straws stirring the drink. They have the ability to let Josh Jacobs stir the drink with the running game, or they can lean into Jordan Love as these receivers get comfortable. To me, they have more paths to victory than the other teams in the league, because I think they can get it done offensively, defensively. They can do it running, passing, whatever it is. They have a bunch of ways to get to the winner's circle.
Yeah, and I guess I would just lean towards the team that won the Super Bowl last year with Philly. And I think that's where we're headed, is a collision course between those two teams. That's what it feels like at this point in time through a couple weeks. But with Philly, I think that little audio clip said everything last week.
Yeah.
Of like, you're going to brag about yards we have or this, that, and the other. Like, we're just about winning games, man. Like, we won the game. Whatever we got to do to win the game, we're going to win the game. And that to me that's dangerous when you get a team that doesn't play well. And I don't think they did really at all in that game offensively. They win the game and they find a way to do it. And guess what? When it starts clicking, they're going to start blowing people out. But in the meantime, they just find a way to get it done and win ball games. That to me that's a sign of a team that's mature.
What's scary about the Philadelphia Eagles is that. So the same things that you talk about with Jim Harbaugh and stuff and how they've kind of figured out who they are. To me, when I look at the Eagles, I look at the vintage New England Patriots, not in terms of stylistically, but in terms of them understanding and mastering the art of winning. Mastering the art of winning is, what do we need to do today to win the game? And having a bunch of players who are selfless enough to be able to do that. So that video exchange that you talk about with Jalen and Chris Jones, when the quarterback is on board, hey, man, I could care less about my numbers. I'm about winning. Well, what does that mean? He's not arguing with the coordinator like, hey, man, we need to throw a couple more passes, this and that. They've seemingly got everyone on board that the only thing that matters for us is winning. And when they've paid everybody and people aren't playing for contracts, it allows you to get more of that. They're scary because they figured that out. And as a young team, figuring out early you have an opportunity to have a dynastic run where you're always in the conversation as the last team standing.
Right, no doubt. All right. How about a team that you're worried about there of those undefeated teams? It's Packers, Niners, Eagles, Bucks, Cardinals, Rams. So between the Niners, the Bucks, Cardinals, Rams, who would you say you're not necessarily buying the 2-0 start?
So here's the funny thing, DJ. I really like all those teams that have gotten out to the fast starts. The team that I point out that's a little different than the others, I would say the Cardinals. And the only reason I would point out the Cardinals is because the unknown. Like, they're not our two teams that they should have beaten. And the unknown part is, can they take their game up a notch when it's time to step into the ring with the heavyweights? Can Kyler Murray in particular take his game up to the point where he can be the guy that leads this team in a shootout when it's about the quarterback knocking off the other quarterback? That is the only reason why I can't fully endorse them as the team. I won't say that he's the weak link, but he's the biggest question. Can he be the difference maker when we get to those gotta have it moments in games?
Yeah, I would just say the Niners, just because the injury bug just seems to always strike these guys, man. Just for where some of their key players are in their career or the track record, just staying healthy it's legitimately a concern of mine. So that's why I would say of these teams, the Niners would concern me the most. So there you have it, Buck. There's kind of the look at the teams that are off to the hot and not so hot starts, what we think about their future here as we go forward, and really looking forward to a great slate of games this weekend. If I was going to give you one game I'm looking forward to over any other, I would say Rams Eagles. That is going to be a physical fight. Can't wait to see what that looks like. And then, of course, we get to Monday night. Lions, Ravens. That's going to be a good one as well.
That is always a good one. When those two teams square off, man, there's been some fun games to watch.
Yeah, so good slate of games. College slate, just so-so. But we will be back next week on a Monday with Baldy, where we can go and break down everything that we've seen on the weekend. Until then, hope you guys have a great weekend yourself. We'll see you back here on Move the Sticks.